Hello, first grade writers. Today we're going to be planning for our very first small moment story. I have a couple of posters set up here that I want to review with you. But first, let's review what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about small moment stories and a watermelon story, which is a big, giant story that lasts a long time. And then a seed story, which is a little tiny story that lasts 5 to 10 minutes. Our job for the next couple weeks is to write small moment stories that last only 5 to 10 minutes long. So yesterday, I led you through how I came up with my ideas. I picked a big watermelon story and then I broke it down until it was small. I decided that I could write about Hocking Hill's dance party, when my basement flooded, when I learned to do a headstand, my first Zoom meeting, moving my classroom home from Cassingham Elementary, and then when I completed a good behavior online training, and I felt very proud. Those are my 6 ideas that I came up with yesterday. And today I'm going to talk to you about picking just one of those ideas and then beginning to brainstorm for the actual story. Good writers take time organizing their thoughts that are in their brain and putting it on paper so then when it comes time to actually write their stories, they know the details that they want to include. So let's look at this chart from the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year, we filled out planners. This is actually dated September 14th. So all the way in September, we were already writing small moment stories. Your brains have stretched so much and you've learned so much about what good writers do that now you're going to be able to make your stories even more detailed and more engaging for the reader. This is our title page. And all stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. We have 1 page for the beginning, 1 page for the middle, and 1 page for the end. Eventually, you're going to have a story that is at least 3 pages long, but maybe more. Sometimes people's middle sections are 2 or 3 pages. The middle section is really the most important part in your story because that's the story that tells the reader exactly what happened. This is where the main idea of your story happens. But for now, you don't need to worry about the individual pages. We're just going to fill out this planner together, and I'm going to show you what my ideas were, and then when you go to write, you'll be able to fill in your ideas. This planner says small moment planner at the top, and it has a spot for you to write the characters in the beginning. It's kind of really outlines exactly what your story will need. In the beginning, we introduce the characters and we tell the setting. Where and when. So where can be at an amusement park, at the school, in your house. Where could also be a state. It could be a country. So depending upon where your story takes place, you're going to write that here. And when you fill out this planner, you don't have to write complete sentences. You're just making a list and jotting ideas. The next question that you answer for the setting is when. When does your story take place? You might give a season. Spring, summer, winter, or fall. You might tell a specific month. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. You might not remember the month or the season, but you might remember how old you were and say, when I was 2. You might have a lot of details about your story and remember exactly what time of day it was. And you might say the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. So depending upon what you remember about your story, you'll be able to fill this section in with different details. The middle section is the main event. So that's what your story is going to be mostly about. And remember, you don't have to write a complete sentence here. We're just jotting ideas. And then your ending in your story describes your feelings or the lesson that you learned, or maybe both. Your ending could be 2 sentences if you want to tell about your feelings or the lesson that you learned. Remember, the more details you give in your story, the better your story will be for the reader. So this is this planner that you're going to fill out, and I'm going to share with you what I wrote. I decided from my brainstorming list that I was going to write about when I did my headstand, because that one is my favorite. So, and I'm going to bring this a little bit closer to you so that you can see it. My characters are Mrs. Fitz. I was there. And Stacy. Stacy's the name of my yoga teacher. The setting is my bedroom. I was doing yoga via a Zoom meeting in my bedroom. And it was in March. It was just this past March. And it was in the morning. What happened the middle of my story? I did my first headstand. Now I wrote a complete sentence. You could choose to write a complete sentence if you wanted to, or you could just write first headstand. Down here at the end, this is where I describe my feelings or the lesson I learned. I wrote, I felt so proud. I learned to never give up because the more you practice, the better you get. All right, boys and girls, now it's time for you to go look at your brainstorming sheet from yesterday and pick out which story you would like to write first. Then think about your story and write your ideas on your planner. And that's all. We're not going to begin any actual writing today. We're just going to be completing our planner. Good luck. And please reach out with any questions that you have. I can't wait to see your ideas, writers.